Hi guys, what's going on? What are you guys saying? You guys all good?
You all
Yeah,
good?
yeah,
Long time?
yeah.
Yeah,
Too
we've been
long.
off for like a month or so. Had some sort of family events going on. So apologies for that, but we are back. So we are the JMC, and this is the football talk podcast. And today we're going to talk about the games that happened over the weekend. Um, So if you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe to this channel and please give us a like, share some love to the video, and please make sure that you put the notification bell on. So let's get to it. Let's talk about the big game, which was the Liverpool v City over the weekend. Mitt, take the floor.
Well, firstly, I didn't like the way the game was scheduled in the first place, where it moved from a 5:30 kickoff to a 12:30 kickoff. Just because we have a lot of people in internationals in South America, so that affected us quite a lot. And there was also the referee, which was a Manchester referee too. I'm always going to be on the anti-Man City train, and there's always something. They're always benefiting them in some way. But I thought in the first half, I thought we were just so easy. We were just easily exposed down the left wing. I thought Trent was just getting exposed by Doku, even though the Liverpool fans were like, "Oh, Trent actually did really well. He defended really well and stuff like that." But he did give away the first goal, even though it was an Alisson error. He should have tackled Ake. How are you going to let a centre back dribble past you? And Doku was just having a field day. As soon as he got the ball, you knew that was Man City's outlet. He was the one that would create the chances for them. So literally every single attack was just coming through him. Simicast and Van Dijk's side was quite nicely well defended. And well, they did get the lead, which was still very jammy as well. It was just poor from our side. Usually, the first goal we concede is always down to a Liverpool error. I don't know how many goals we've given away by the Allison giving the ball away to the striker or defenders making a mistake. But it's what 6 out of 7 games we conceded the first goal. That's just a joke. That's where we need to improve. If we can get the first goal, then we can control the game. But it always feels like we're just chasing it because of how sloppy we are. It's just such slow tempo in that first half, where as soon as you pass it to defender, it's not touch it, pass on to the next person. It's touch it, stand around, have a cup of tea, then pass on to the next player, which is just so annoying. It just frustrates me watching it. But second off, when we did concede, then I thought we were the better team. I can't remember City even having any chances. Neither did we, but I thought the game was just evenly balanced throughout the whole game. I thought a draw was a fair result. And finally, Trent did something. This first goal of the season. I hope this kickstarts his season like it did when towards the end of last season, where as soon as he got a goal or assist, then it just started happening every single game. So I'm hoping that form now kicks up for him. And that was an amazing finish. Literally, that one touch and just smashed it into the bottom corner. That was a yeah, amazing goal. So all the crap I said about Trent, he did recover it for himself, and yeah, he was our savior in the end.
So would do you reckon you rather buy a new right back and put Trent in midfield? Because I really
No,
think he suits the midfield role rather than
he
the right
suits the
back.
midfield, but I don't think he will fit in. He doesn't have that presence in midfield like anyone else would. So even like McAllister, I think we should buy a proper CDM. Like the only one that I could say is definitely would start on a midfield is Sobotlai. But like you said, the third midfield, I apart from McAllister and Sabotala, I can't name because Gravenberch, I would put him in there, but he gets injured quite a bit. So Trent could replace him, but I'd rather have Gravenberch in there rather than Trent. Gravenberch is actually sick in midfield. He's actually so speedy on the ball. When he touches it, he can turn and run, and it's hard for he can dribble. No, it's hard to tackle him, and he's quite big as well, so he can control the midfield. He can intimidate the other players there. So I wouldn't put Trent in midfield. I think you just got to utilize him better. Like when he, if even though we use him as the was it inverse midfielder, he can come into that play. But even what 2 years ago, like we used him so well going down the wing. We don't attack down the wings anymore, or Trent doesn't push up as much. But I think that's I wouldn't stick him on midfield.
No, but because he's a liability in your defense, like what player would cover him because he can't defend. So you need a center mid to defend with him to be
Yeah,
effective.
which is that's where you would have like our right mid would be there. So was it like Gravenberch or Szoboszlai? I wouldn't expect, but I would expect Szoboszlai to help out. Even McAllister could support him while someone drops in into McAllister's spot. Trent is just he's very weak defensive, but that you've got to just outweigh the risk for the reward. What he contributes going forward, you just got to take the risk of him being crap defensively.
So you're happy with that, and that's the reason why you've been conceding silly goals is because there's liability at the back.
But usually it's not because of Trent. It's usually because they're just passing crap. They're just taking their time. They're not trying to push forward and get the goal. Like there's no attacking instinct. It's like how Arsenal were 2 years ago. It's just passing up and down for no aim. There's no aim to get forward. It's like when it goes upwards, they pass it into the midfielder. The midfielder doesn't look backwards to push into the space between the midfield and defense. He goes straight back to the defenders. It's
Yeah, but
only when we concede is when we start doing that, and it's like, why can't you play like this from the start?
I think there's a bit of element of that happening to Arsenal this season as well. Because I do know what you're talking about, and I'm seeing a bit more of that. But maybe that's coming through because Klopp wants to control the game a bit more rather than heavy metal type of football.
But you should get
Surprised
the
he hasn't
fact.
done what he did. You know, when you had Fabinho and Henderson covering for Trent and Robertson a few years back, where they just tuck in on that side. I'm
Hmm.
surprised he hasn't done that yet with Gravenberch and McAllister. Might be something he might
Maybe
develop.
He doesn't have a proper six. That's the problem for that to happen.
One, yeah, you need someone that can know where's the passing lanes, where should they be standing. I don't think McAllister's not that type of player. McAllister's just there for receive from the defenders, turn around, and then ping it into the wingers or into
Yeah.
the space.
you happy with the 1 point?
Yeah, anyone would take a point at City. It's all because of us. You're top of the league.
Yeah, take the point and run from there.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I say.
The point.
I
Yeah.
thought we did quite well. We control Haaland. Like I can't think apart from their goal, what other shot did they have from inside the box? I thought we had the
To be
better.
fair, that you scored from a chance that they nearly scored from the Trent goal. It was a good counter attack from
Yeah.
that.
Allison saved it.
But Alisson's injured now.
Yeah, no,
Half
I think
weeks.
it might be a blessing because some of his distribution's been a bit sloppy this year. Like he was your best player last season, but this year he's still making the saves, but the playing out from the back isn't working for him at the minute.
Yeah, it is. It's just all panic station. As soon as he gets it, I'd rather him just hoof it now.
So, Bav, as you've already shared a bit of input, like you're a United fan, are you happy with the point that both teams shared?
Yeah, I think it's good that they both slept up. It's going to be, I think, it's going to be between the three that are at the top anyway. So it just makes things more interesting. If City had won, it would have been a bit, it would have been a bit more boring with them still at the top. So it opens things up. But kind of bored of seeing City win. I'd rather have someone like an Arsenal win the league. I'm just fed up with of City. So I think
Funny
a point
how,
helps that.
funny how you didn't put Liverpool in that in that sentence.
I'd rather see City than Liverpool because of how close they are. But if I'd rather see Arsenal over City.
Share your thoughts on the game.
Yeah, as Smith said, I think Liverpool very passive in the first half. I don't know what it was. Was it a bit of jet lag in the team? They seemed to be very dawdling on the ball. Not really, not much rhythm in their play. City obviously were a lot more sharper, and they seemed to cut through a bit more often than Liverpool. But Liverpool did have the chances. Nunez in particular seemed to be doing his best Lukaku impression. Just like Bambi on ice when he got to the box. So I think if he shown a bit more composure, Liverpool might have got a bit more joy in the game. Salah again very creative, and as Mitt said in the second half, they sort of grew into the game. They were a lot more involved. I think they put their foot on the gas at the start of the half. City looked a bit more vulnerable. And City, they got the goal they deserved. So I think a point was fair enough for both teams.
What about you, Nish?
Yeah, I think a point is a good result for Liverpool. You always want to deny City 3 points at the Etihad. So yeah, I think Liverpool would be the happier. In terms of quality, I didn't see too much quality from either teams. I think Liverpool, in terms of counter-attacking, they look really good, but they messed up in the final pass. Like there was about 4 or 5 times I saw Liverpool on the counter, and I think it was Darwin or Jota that just messed up the final pass when they could have just shot. So I thought both teams were lacking quality. It wasn't like a Liverpool City game from a couple of years ago where it was like a intense game. So I think Liverpool would be the happier of getting the point and just getting out of there. So yeah, I thought yeah, Liverpool would be happier. Yeah.
Okay. So we're all happy basically they share the point. Well, I'm thrilled that it was a 1-1 draw. I was thinking it would be a City win all day long, but I was quite surprised that they scored back because I was looking. I didn't actually watch the game, but I was hearing that Liverpool, well, Nunes was missing a lot of chances, and City were being City, and I expected them to score another goal, but yeah, it's what happened.
I think
Uh,
Liverpool's shown this year they're not as fragile as last year. Last year they'd go 1-0 down, they may become 2 or 3 at City. This year, a few times they've come back, they've shown a lot more steel. So it's going to bode well for them, I think, going forward.
all right, let's move on to the next game, which was the Arsenal game that happened yesterday. No, day of yesterday. So Nish, what was your thought on the Arsenal Brentford game, and how did your favorite player Havertz perform?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I am happy that we're top of the league. But it's the story of the season with Arsenal. It's just like so, we're just awful on the ball. Like we do nothing with it, and you know, we just pass around in midfield. Like I get it. I know what Arteta wants to do, but there has to be some cutting edge sooner or later. We can't just rely on these fine margins to crop up here and there. Um, like Newcastle away was like a fine margin. Today was a fine margin. We had a game in between, I think it was Sheffield or Burnley, where we scored on the 45th minute. So it was like fine margins. So yeah, I get what he wants to do, where we hardly concede any chances, though. The stuff we do concede is from silly mistakes, as you saw with Ramsdale and Raya, and like poor passes. Because apart from that, we don't concede any chances, and I think we've conceded the least goals in the league. So I'm happy with our defense, but going forward, there's literally zero cutting edge. I don't know if it's sustainable because yeah, I don't think we can win every game 1-0. So there has to be some cutting edge up front. So yeah, I'm happy we're top of the league. I'm happy we got all 3 points, but definitely the story of the season is that there is something missing there, and I don't know if that's going to change. But let's see. It's worked so far for Arteta.
What did you think of? What did you think of Nketiah 4v1?
Yeah, it's just so unexplainable of like why he shot instead of just squaring it for an easy tap in. Yeah, it's awful, man. Literally,
Yeah.
like there's nothing else in that game to say apart from Ramsdale. Like that's just like comedy. Like yeah, it's just no idea what he's thinking doing that twice.
I missed it. I missed the first 20 or 30 minutes of the game, and I heard reports saying that Ramsdale is a lucky boy. I think I was listening to Talk Sports at that time, and they were saying that it was from like 3 or 4 yards they missed, and I was like, how is that possible? Because in my head I was just picturing Ramsdale losing the ball at his goal kick line, and they missed it from there. And I was like, there's no way they would have missed that. So I was trying to envision what the fuck happened. And I looked at the highlights. I was like, Ramsdale, they would have scored that if it wasn't for Rice. So for me,
Yeah,
I'm gonna give a special mention to that. I think Rice is world-class player, man. Like, if you look at the picture of that game, only one person reacted and
yeah,
anticipated that the ball's gonna go there. every other Arsenal player was just staring, saying, no, no. Only Rice made that run to the line, and that's why we didn't concede. And I want to say,
Our core is solid at the moment with Gabriel, Saliba, and Rice. I think those three are like the main functions of our defense. And the attacking wise, like we're lucky that those three are there, because the attacking is just not working at the moment. Like it's just horrible. Like it's so bad to watch. Like some of the stuff that we do in and around the box is it's
what
just
do you reckon the difference is this season, like from your perspective?
it's
How have we gone from playing sick, fluid, silky football to
I
last season?
think I think Arteta has done on purpose, because the end of last year kind of like scarred him in terms of like the way we just burnt out. So I think he prefers this type of football, because in his mind it's more sustainable. Like we hardly concede any chances, and the chances that we do concede is from our own mistakes. So over the season, if it cancels it out, we would hardly concede any chances and probably come up with like an individual brilliance up front, and we have the players to do that. So he's probably relying on that for him to bail him out. But so far it's worked for him. We're top, but let's see if it continues. I don't think it will, but let's see.
What does he need to change then to so that we are comfortable with not seeing what we are seeing? Because I'm feeling a bit on edge to see what I'm seeing, because I'm just seeing slow, boring football. And I think Mitt was there listening to me complaining the other day, where I was like, okay, I predict you he's gonna go to the midfielder, he's gonna go back to a defender, that Saliba's gonna pass it to Gabriel,
Pretty much.
pass it to Zinchenko's gonna pass it back, and then he's just gonna go like that stupid Van Gaal football that we were seeing back in.
I think what needs to change is that first of all, it doesn't help that every team sits deep against us, and then all their players double up on our wingers. So I think we need like a tall physical striker as well to kind of hold the ball up, because when Jesus is not there, or when he's not on form, we don't have anyone else to do that. And Kai Havertz is not a striker, so yeah, we definitely need someone like Osimhen or Ivan Toney, who we've been linked with, to perhaps add that physicality up front to hold the ball up, because everything goes through the wings at the moment for us. If Jesus isn't on top form, and as we've seen in the Champions League, the fluidity is sort of still there, because in the Champions League they don't double up on our wingers, they don't like park the bus or sit in a deep block. So in the Premier League is much tougher. So we kind of have to crack that code. So yeah, I think getting a physical striker could help. Maybe a proper number 8 as well to ping those passes through that Xhaka's not there.
How did the Trossard experiment work? Because I think he played 8.
I think with Trossard, he works better as like a false 9, because he connects the play and everything. I think as a number 8, he's physically lacking. He doesn't have like the strides that like a Rice has, or even Odegaard. Odegaard's got the skill and everything, and he can win his duels. I think Trossard doesn't have that. He's too weak to play in that position. So yeah, I think if we do want to go forward, it has to be either Trossard or Jesus as a number 9. And then that means, unfortunately, Kai Havertz in midfield.
No, you could put Rice in number 8, don't you think?
But then Jorginho will have to play.
Partey's gonna come back.
I don't know when he's back. He's injured, and then he's going to go to African Cup of Nations. So
Oh crap! Does it mean
Man
Salah's
doesn't-
going as well?
yep,
Salah will go.
Oh
pretty
man.
much.
Well, who's facing Liverpool in Jan? It's not,
Arsenal.
is it? Yes, no Salah. No Salah, yay.
Wait, why is there African Cup of Nations?
There's also the Asia Cup, so that means Tomiyasu is going to go, who's been good as well for us. So yeah, let's see.
Yeah, so my take on what I think is happening at the moment is, like, I do agree with your point where Arteta is probably scarred from last season, and he basically wants to have a more controlled type of football rather than a heavy metal approach. Because last season we were literally going all guns blazing, run out of steam, and yeah, we ultimately paid for it. at the
We
end.
relied on emotion too much last year as well.
Yeah,
Like you saw like the celebration and stuff.
yeah,
It was too much, too emotional. And Gary
yeah,
Neville said it that it
yeah.
was too emotional.
Is that all? It's good, but if you become too emotional, but you expect that from a team where they've never been in that place before, so of course you're
Yeah,
gonna act that way. But then again, I do blame Zinchenko to make it extra emotional because he was getting emotional.
yeah,
And man's won the title multiple times, so he should be the one with the cool heads. But yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? But I think Arteta's literally just trying to possess some control in the game so that we basically play at our pace and we don't burn ourselves out. That's the way I'm looking at it, and controlling the game as like we're playing dead football, not playing good football at all. It's literally boring. And I think he's done it by purpose. I think what he's realized is that um defense wins you titles.
yeah,
So he's basically worked on that part of the pitch where he's like, look, keep it tight and we'll get our chances. And which we do. As long as we're being clinical, we should be
yeah.
okay. But my only worry is that throughout the season, it can actually happen because Mourinho's done it before. Like defense wins you titles, like that's literally what Mourinho's done. Like he was winning a lot of 1-0. Um, and you forgot about the fact that we are the Arsenal. We are the 1-0 team. If you remember back in the day, we were winning every game 1-0. That's why the
Mm.
chant was 1-0 to the Arsenal,
But
1-0.
back then the teams were shit.
Yeah,
Like the quality was so much lower.
Now you have like literally the top 7, 8 can beat the top Man City.
So what's your I'm gonna get your opinion on this, mate. What's your opinion on the game and obviously your rival, like, and so on.
I thought it was well, it was an entertaining game because of Arsenal's goalkeeper, basically. Because it was like you didn't know who was going to take the lead. Even though it was a strong defense, you knew that there was a chance coming from anyone's mistake. I thought Arsenal controlled the game, and like you said, the defense was the core reason for it. And yeah, when I was watching the attacks, it didn't feel like anyone was going to score until well, you bring on Kai Havertz, and I didn't know how that went in. It was like it was a hard angle. I think goalkeeper was unlucky because he did save it, but he just hit the inside of his leg and went in, or the outside of his leg, but it hit the inside and it just bounced in. So yeah, I thought also deserved the win anyway. The top of the league, it's like Babik said earlier, you'd rather have someone else different on top. And what the top four is now separated by 4 points as well. And a team that was top like 2 weeks ago is now outside the top four. So I think, and I don't even think Man City are that special this year either. They don't look to me like they can go around just crushing every single team. So I think it is open. It's just who can put a good run together will take it. That's what I
I,
think.
I think the title could be won on 80s this time. Well, I know last year they won at 89 points, but I think mid to late 80s could win it, like an 87 or 88 points. I don't think we're gonna get like a 95-point season this year.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I agree. It's not gonna happen.
And yeah, now that Salah's not going to be there, I don't think there goes my title hope because he'll be gone for 4 weeks, isn't it? So that's and luckily it's in January, so it will be 4 game weeks. I don't think there will be uh double game weeks within a week.
Yeah, like luckily we've got Carling Cup and FA Cup and stuff happening during that time. So
Yeah, let me check
Yeah,
when we're
City
facing.
got a Club World Cup coming soon as well, so they're gonna be busy trying to win that.
what do
They'll
you think?
stack up some games in hand. I think, yeah. So in terms of the performers, I think Arsenal control the game. It's that conundrum where, with Rice, special mention to Rice, you mentioned he's world class. I think he's world class in two positions, a number 6 and a number 8. And when you put him in number 6, you miss that progressive passing. Where you get it into your forwards quickly, where you can get it into Martinelli and Saka. And I think that's what you lack. That's what you're lacking in the minute, where you haven't got that incisive pass straight away. I think when Party comes back, you'll see a lot more free flowing. But going back to all the points mentioned, I think they're all pretty much bang on the money. That he's playing quite defensively. He's sort of trying to make sure that he's not giving away any cheap goals. The only goals you are giving away are probably from mistakes. So I think it's looking good. If you can win without playing well, you're gonna do well, aren't you? So I think it bodes well for the future, and you can have the performances will only pick up from there.
I've got 2 points I wanted to raise in the game, but before I get to the second point, which will involve everyone, the first point, just one new Arsenal this. Havertz goal. Happy with? Are you happy with Havertz now that he has won us 3 points there?
Well, he needs to do that more often, those back post runs, because if he's playing as that number 8, he needs to make those third man runs into the box, and I haven't seen that yet. So this is like his sort of bread and butter. We're making those late man runs because he's a tall guy. He needs to he can win headers and stuff as well. So those kind of crosses to Havertz, should be made for him, but he doesn't do it enough, or I haven't seen it at all until we did it on Saturday. So I'm still not happy with him. But if he can improve going forward, then yeah, I will. But at the moment, he's not looking good. That he's a good buy, because we gave him a penalty to take as a charity for him to get his confidence up, and then after that he got dropped. So yeah, that tells
Would you
you.
make of him as was it left back? I think Germany tried him over the international break at left back.
That was funny. I think that's a new position Arteta could try.
At least he's versatile. Yeah, at least he's versatile.
No, but the thing is that he can't be a left back or any other position. He's a lazy ass footballer because, he did come on. Apart from the goal, I want to give a special praise to Havertz for scoring that goal. So well done, Havertz, and for the 3 points. But he's lazy. I remember when he just came on, and I think he had the ball in the corner, and all he had to do is take his quick left turn and pass it back, so that we can recycle the ball. But instead, man got bodied out and he lost the ball. And then they literally counted us because all our players were literally up there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, Nish, if you remember that specific part of the game, but I saw that and I was like, that's weak play, especially for a 6 foot giant. That's really weak.
Yeah, nah, he does have his moments where it's just like, what the hell? The team is on one level and he's on the level below. So yeah.
The second thing I wanted to raise, this I wanted to bring it up now and not at the Liverpool's game, but incident that happened with VAR. So one incident was the Alisson foul that happened. And the second one I'm going to talk about was the goal that was disallowed for us. I wanted to get your guys' views on both those incidents, whether they were right, VAR decision was right, or do you think it was just false? It was wrong on.
Was there also decision the goal?
There was a goal. It was a goal, but it was disallowed because on offside roll, because it was offside. But if you look at the camera angles, the way they looked at it, it looks offside. But if you look at it the other way, it looks onside. If you look at both of you, it's onside. So it's inconsistency, because if you remember when the Newcastle's ball was out, they gave that as the ball's in. Benefit of a doubt. But yeah, it just didn't make sense to me.
I thought both were correct. If they're using that one camera angle, then I think it was offside. I thought it was very close. I wouldn't be surprised if they looked another way, it could be given a goal. You still won, so that's fair enough. And I think the Alisson one was definitely a foul. You can't touch a goalkeeper these days. And if Akanji was holding on to his left arm, which is literally it's going to be hard to catch a ball if someone's trying to drag that down. So I think that's fine. I think both were correct.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. I think the Trossard one was offside but again, they have to do this across the board where, if one is offside, they have to make other decisions and make sure that, they are being consistent like that. And yeah, again, you can't touch goalkeepers. Goalkeepers get special treatment in terms of getting fouls and stuff. So I think that was the correct call as well. So yeah.
Only if Gabriel was a goalkeeper, innit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much echoing what everyone said. I think if you're looking at the one Allison one in slow motion, it's probably a bit soft, but you can see why the referee gave it. It's there's a no go zone for attacker to touch a goalkeeper.
that.
But it's not the other way around. If a goalkeeper smashes you, you don't get anything. So seems a bit weird.
But
The rule.
that opens up a can of worms. If you let the Allison one go, then everyone's going to start doing that every week. You just kick it towards the goalkeeper's area, and then you can hold on to the goalkeeper, and it shouldn't be a foul.
No, I agree in that sense. It was more about if a keeper was to do that to an attacker.
Oh yeah,
they wouldn't get anything for
like an
it.
Onana.
Like an Onana. Or I think who was another one? There was another one, but I can't remember which one
There
it
was
was.
another one. Yeah, there was another one. I forgot about that one
It
as
was
well.
a Chelsea one, was it? It was Sanchez.
Sanchez, yeah.
Right.
So
Let's move on to the United game. Everton, Bavik. Your opinion
I
on
think,
that?
yeah, I think for United it was a great result to take 3-0, particularly with the amount of goals we've been scoring this year. I'll take that any day of the week, given the background going into the game with Everton's point deduction and how hyped they would have been for that match. United started pretty well, obviously with the electric goal from Garnacho, and then they had a couple more chances after that. After that, Everton sort of did roar back into the game. They had a few chances, which I'm still not sure how they missed, particularly the Calvert-Lewin one. So that was to be expected. They are the home team. They should be taking the game to United. Second half, United looked really comfortable. I think Everton sort of ran out of steam, and then they kind of showed why they would be down there anyway without the point deduction. But I think United, it was a comfortable victory in the end, and it's good to see Rashford and co-firing again.
Right, quick opinions, guys, on the game.
Yeah, great goal from Garnacho. And I think United would be pleased that Everton didn't score those chances. And they're slowly climbing up the table with 0 goal difference. So yeah, should be proud of that.
It's already that's already goal of the season, I think. Nothing's gonna beat that unless someone does it from outside the box, the exact same thing. Yeah, I think 0 goal difference. I think it was a hot Everton one, lucky they just weren't clinical enough. If they did score a goal, it might have changed it as 1-1. You'd have brought the crowd into it. They wouldn't have started throwing their crop papers at to players.
I think United would have crumbled if Everton took one of those chances. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They're a very fragile team. They looked good on the ball, and Mainoo's added a bit of composure coming from playing out from the back. He looks quite tidy. Let's see how that progresses. He's that profile that Ten Hag wanted in that role. So we'll see how that goes.
Are you were you shocked that you won 3-0, Bav?
I didn't think it'd be that comfortable. Yeah, I predicted. I think it was a draw before the game because I just thought Everton would be a lot more on it just because of what's happened to them, and it'd be a very tough atmosphere. They'd be flying in for every challenge. Penalty changed the game because it made it a lot more comfy for United. Penalty, well, it was a penalty. I don't think there's any debate on that one. But had they not got that goal as soon as they did, then it would have been very nervy, I think, second half United. But just giving that more of that reassurance, getting it a second goal as quick as they did.
You maintain top 4?
I think top four is doable. I think Spurs will suffer now with all their injuries. They don't seem to. I don't think they'll last the distance. I think top 3 is nailed on: Liverpool, Arsenal, and City. Those 2 will pull away from everyone else. I think United are in a battle with Spurs, and looks like Villa looking quite comfy in that top 4 spot at the minute. I think there'll be a battle between them 3 and potentially Chelsea if they get their act together for that last, and maybe Newcastle as well for that last top 4 spot.
Okay, so guys, 5 minutes left. We get into the final part of the podcast. So Mitt's going to take us through. He's going to update us with the results of the scores that we've accumulated for the last few weeks that we haven't been updated on the show. So Mitt, take the floor and tell us who's first, second, and third, and last by how many points in each. Before and
yeah, so we've been doing
what...
it. We've been doing it while we haven't been recording anyway. So I think it's about 2-3 weeks of fixtures we've done this for. So we got Bav top with 41 points, Nish second with 35 points, Rish third with 33 points, and me last with 26 points.
Damn, there's a gap building between
Yeah.
first and second now.
So yeah, we'll go through the fixtures now. So United will be facing Newcastle away, and since Babik's shop, he gets first choice with predicting the scoreline.
That's going to be a tough one for United. I think they'll lose 2-0. I'm going for Newcastle.
Nish?
I think 4-1 Newcastle. I
Oh,
think it's
wow.
gonna be a massacre. They massacred Chelsea. I don't see that changing. So 4-1 Newcastle.
Rishi?
You know, we need to catch bad vibes. I'm not copying his 2-0. Gonna be, it's gonna be United ain't scoring for shit at 4-0 Newcastle.
Oh my God.
4-0.
I think it's gonna be 3-1. And then the next set is Liverpool gonna be facing Fulham.
It'd be so
Bath.
funny. It'd be so funny if it's a draw.
Is that the early kickoff or is it? Which game is it?
I'm not 100% sure when they're playing.
It should be Sunday because they got Europa League, so it should be
So it
Thursday,
should be
Sunday
Sunday,
schedule. Yeah.
It
I think
is
that'll be. Should be Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, 2 o'clock.
2
2
o'clock.
o'clock. Yeah, that'll be a comfy victory. I'm going 3-0 Liverpool.
Nish?
Yeah, 3-0 as well.
Bavik, were you like looking for if they were playing at 12:30?
Yeah, I forgot there's Europe this week.
Because Liverpool struggle at 12:30 games.
They struggle at 12:30.
Yeah, 3-0 as well for me.
So you both the 3-0.
Hmm.
Is it at home?
Yeah, it's at Anfield.
It is going to be a win. Yeah, I'm gonna go 3-0 as well. I'm gonna keep keep the scoreline. Yeah. 3-0.
I'm gonna go 3-1 then. And then also facing Wolves at home. Bath.
I think Arsenal will win this. I think it won't be straightforward, but I think they'll come out comfortably. So I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
I think we will concede because we always concede at home. So I'm going 3-1 Arsenal.
A bit brave with the type of football we play. We'll concede. We always concede to any team at home, so it will definitely be 1-0 to Wolves. But I'm gonna go 2-1 to Arsenal because we ain't scoring more than 2. It doesn't seem like it.
I'm going 3-1. So I predicted 3-1 for every single game.
The guy, man. He was 16. This is where the 16 points go because it's just the same game for the same prediction every game.
He's hoping one game will come out to be 3-1.
Special shout out to Newcastle for footering every team at St James's Park this year.
Apart from Liverpool.
Yeah.
apart from Darwin.
Liverpool.
That's still that. You know what? That Darwin peaked that game, man. Because after that, it's just been the headless chicken.
That is so true. He's got his informed cod.
That's it. He got the power shot nailed for those 2 games. That was it.
All right, guys, I'm gonna now. Thanks for coming on to the podcast. Viewers, please give us some love to this to the video. Please put the thumbs up. And if you are new, please subscribe to the video. And we will see you next week. Cheers.